up and we're ready to ride.
Oh, jeez.
Tell me where you go when all bets are
Beat ya.
on.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers. Welcome
Cheers.
back to the podcast, Tyson.
Thank you so much.
Much has changed since the last time you were here.
I would say so.
From our humble beginnings down on the
Yes.
first floor, we're now on the 7th floor.
Moving on up.
Here at the Dillon.
Moving on up.
Right above Harvest, which is powering this podcast. Thank you, Harvest. Along with Breton Brewing, our main sponsor. Thank you guys for providing great beer.
Love the
and,
Storm Chaser. It's a great one.
friendship.
It's a great one.
Yeah,
It's
let's actually take a moment to talk about these. Really
It's
quick.
actually crazy that we have a sponsor.
I know. I want
like
to
that.
hear. I want to hear your thoughts on the different beers that we have here.
Well, it's a vanilla oatmeal stout. It's delicious.
Okay.
I just recently got into the stouts. Well, not
Okay.
recently. I mean, maybe in the past 5 years or
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But as a veteran beer drinker now, I guess this has become one of my favorites to kind of sip on. You can have like one or two at a time, but delicious.
It's
really
a treat.
good. It is a treat.
Definitely a treat. It's
It
got
is.
oatmeal in the name, so
Yeah,
basically breakfast.
I like vanilla.
it's a breakfast beer.
It's breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ask us what time it is.
No, we're good. It's
There's
afternoon
no
now.
time on the internet.
No,
It's
exactly.
not real.
You've got yourself a sour.
I got myself a sour. So we actually have last year's sour.
Yeah.
This year they have a blueberry pomegranate sour that is just as good, if not better. But I mean, this is a classic Let's Jam strawberry rhubarb, super light, easy drinking,
Delicious.
tastes like summer.
And Stroby.
And I have the Smash, which I just learned what it stands for. Do you know what Smash stands for?
Ooh, I'm excited.
The single malt and single hop.
Okay.
Didn't know that.
They keep it simple with the smash.
Yeah, no, it's actually really good. It's a little fruitier. It's lighter. It's
Cool design on that can. I like that.
I like this can the most of all of them.
Yeah.
It's a big yellow guy, and I like it pops.
You're a
Lots.
big yellow guy.
Yeah.
Big yellow guy.
That's interesting. We'll
But yeah,
might
what
be talking about that later on. The
what
podcast.
episode is this?
We got to plan our sips here. Sips got to be at different times. Boys,
It's
because then we
gonna
got that dead air.
It's gonna be
Oh,
slurping.
true.
Okay, exactly.
What episode is this? We're on
13?
13.
Yeah.
13.
I'm not getting it wrong again. Mark my words.
Yeah,
It's hard to
welcome
keep
back.
up.
Welcome back to the Rise and Tide podcast. For those of you who don't already know, we're joined here by our good friend and co-worker and director and man of many hats, Tyson Geick.
Yeah, thank you.
Fellow lover of the coop.
Jeez. For those who are listening, listen. The Coop in Hamilton, if you're there,
All of our Hamilton fans.
you gotta go and you gotta order everything. Nashville hot chicken sandwich is my go-to. You need a fork and knife to eat it.
Yeah.
Maybe even a spoon.
Yeah, it's a
'Cause You're
mess.
like drinking it up at the end.
But it's a sign of a good burger.
delicious.
Yeah,
And
sign
then
of a good burger.
what is it? Like the sriracha honey wings. Those are my.
I didn't go at the wings.
sauce.
This is
Best
your wing
chicken wings
guy.
I ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Kyle's a big wing guy too.
I went
Huge
twice in
wing
one
guy.
weekend when I
Huge
was there
wing
in
We did
April.
too. Well, we did too, didn't we? Did we go twice?
No,
No,
I think
we
we only
ordered
went
from
once.
there to the hotel and then also went there.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, so, I mean, what an experience. This was actually one of my questions that I wrote down. How many chicken wings do you guys think you could eat in one sitting?
Oof,
Gun to your head.
that's a good one.
Gun to your head.
Honestly, like I could probably do a good 40.
You could crush 40.
Yeah, I think so.
You're not as big of a wing guy, but
We should
Not as big of a wing guy, but
we should take this to a restaurant around town and sit down and see how many wings we could do.
just put a gun to your head and see how many
kind
wings
of
you
more.
can.
I like,
It'd be like
I
hot
the
ones,
thought of
but
it,
just until you hate yourself, right?
Just until you hate yourself. I don't know. I could probably. Is a pound 10 wings? Is that generally
depends.
the trade
7
off?
to 10.
Probably put down 30 wings maybe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't enjoy it after like 20 though.
It
Like,
gets hard, man.
I'm like, I don't like messy. I find whenever eating wings too, like I don't like the sauce on them because they're so messy. Like I'd rather
Oh,
like.
no, give me the sauce.
You're-
See, I'm a
he's a
dip.
dipper.
I'm a dipper.
He's a dipper.
I mean, so am I, but
Yeah.
I get the sauce on them and then I dip it in the
You're
ranch.
still dipping it. Yeah,
I'm
in
a
the
double
ranch.
dipper,
Double
so
sauce,
yeah,
double sauce.
yeah.
Yeah, is it your ranch or your blue cheese, dude?
Ranch, all
ranch
the way.
all the way.
Yeah,
Hey?
through and through.
That's
I'm
a
blue
great.
cheese
That's a
guy.
great question, Kyle. You wrote that. That was
Yeah.
one of the ones.
I wrote
like
that,
that.
down. I saw it and I knew I had to know what you guys thought. I mean, yeah, it's got to be 30, 40, somewhere in
yeah.
the middle there. I'm kind of the same. Like I love wings, but at a point you're just like I don't want to eat.
Yeah, catch
Anything,
me on a hungry day, right?
What's like what like food is like that you can eat the most of? Would it be wings? Like,
probably be wings.
Wings, yeah.
Definitely.
Pizza. I can probably put down some pizza.
I could smash a pie.
I mean,
and a
when I
half,
was like
think.
when I was like 12 years old, I could at a birthday party you could eat a lot of pizza slices. But now it's probably like
A sickening amount.
Okay, here's the question for you. You guys probably use dipping sauce in your pizza. Maybe not you, because you're Your body's a temple.
I use what?
We
This guy's
punch ourselves on the
this
chin.
guy's off the gluten, so.
Oh, yeah?
It's a roller coaster.
Like recently?
No, well, I just try to avoid it, man.
Okay,
If
fair
I
enough.
have the option, I'll take it.
Okay.
But like,
So if you have
we
the
order-
option, if you have, hold on, you have the option to take it.
I'm asking the question.
It's a burning question.
Okay.
Okay,
Here
you
we
have
go.
the option, you take it. Are you getting dipping sauce?
With my pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah, marinara for sure.
You're gonna marinate.
I
That's-
love
There's
marinara
already
sauce.
pizza sauce. Like
I
marinara is
know.
basically
I
pizza
love
sauce.
marinara sauce. No, I think it's different though. Marinara is different than pizza
Yeah.
sauce.
Okay.
What about ranch? Like,
It's a
did
distinct
you
flavor.
ranch?
So my question is, I feel
Really been a
like dipping sauce came on the scene as we were kind of growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I grew up, at least I'm
You grew up way
20
before
years
we
old.
did.
20 years older than you guys.
No, you're not at all. You're
In
not
the
at all.
back in the 90s, we
Yeah,
didn't
true, fair.
we didn't use dipping sauce on our pizza,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just my question is, when did that become a thing?
Mine's a hot. Well, yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't-
Probably whenever Pizza Hut decided that they needed that, and then it just became a thing.
I think it
What's-
was Pizza.
I was
in
just going to say
Ontario.
pizza's got like the most dipping
the
sauces.
dipping
Like,
sauce
it's almost
is
overwhelming.
all
It's almost
options.
overwhelming.
Their pizza is a vehicle for
The sauce.
The sauce.
the sauce.
Yeah,
That's
it literally.
it.
Yeah.
Just get in my mouth.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, that is
Sponsor
funny.
us, Pizza.
That is funny because I'm a huge sauce guy, but not really with pizza. Like marinara is good. Maybe I'll put some barbecue sauce on my pizza, which is maybe a little controversial. I don't
Hot
know.
sauce. I do
Hot
hot
sauce
sauce.
is
Like
alright,
a nice
but
drizzle. Nice drizzle.
Any kind of white sauce, I'm not really a big.
No?
Even
Okay.
donair sauce, I feel like it's just kind of
Yeah, donair sauce is different. I never experienced that until I got out
a
here.
lot.
Do you know how it's made?
Yeah,
Have you ever
see,
seen it
that's the
made?
problem. I know
Uh-oh.
how it's made. It's
So
just-
much sugar, man.
Really?
Like, it's like
Well,
90%
I
sugar.
mean, taste it.
Like
90%?
you'd be shocked to watch it be made. I watched like a Matty Matheson video, and it was
Yeah.
him making the donair sauce, and I was like, don't
Oh,
need
yeah.
don't need as much of that in my life anymore.
Yeah, fair.
Should we tell him? It's basically just condensed milk and sugar.
Really?
That's mostly.
I thought there was
what
like a
it is.
pineapple
There
in
might
there
be
or
something
something like
else
that.
in there. but
Pineapple?
That's like the main.
Maybe like a faux pineapple sauce
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
Pineapple.
Yeah,
sauce.
I mean, we might have just lost King of Donair, but as our
Yeah,
as a sponsor,
right, yeah.
sorry.
Honestly, it's probably for the best.
No, it's good though. In very small doses, I think it's really tasty. But
It's kind of like
people really like load on their donairs, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of like what.
I think it's like
what are we eating
it's a
here?
garlic finger thing for me. I like just dipping garlic fingers. I don't love it all. Like when I order a donair, generally it's for delivery because like I'm hungover
It's
and
gonna
that's
be-
the only time I really eat a donair. But I always get the sauce on the side. Like it's always like a
Otherwise, it's gonna be swimming.
yeah, and it's like just soaked and. But I think like garlic fingers.
Garlics
is,
is
Yeah.
that's the
fair.
best vehicle.
They're great after a Thunderbirds game. Great after a Thunderbirds.
Great.
Yeah. Thanks. Shout out Pizza Girls.
Shout out Pizza Girls. Wow, shout out to everyone today. This was great.
Just a big shout
We
out.
got sponsors, so now we're just handing
You
over free
get a
ads.
shout out.
free
You get a
free
shout out.
ads left, right, and center.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess I guess we'll structure this in a little bit and
Sure.
Yeah,
direct
that
some
was
questions at
super
you.
off the rails, but I just
Okay.
you gotta go with it.
Yeah. No,
What do you think, Riley? Where should we go from here?
I don't know. I kind of want to. We just kind of all went through a little bit of a roller coaster of emotions with the Thunderbird season coming to an end. So I think maybe we'll address that and
Yeah.
kind of get that one off the plate so we can
Very
move on and
emotional.
get back to the more important conversation topics like the hot
Very
wings.
emotional.
Yeah.
It was obviously a tough end of the season there. You know, speaking with the guys, it's pretty crazy. They were all just in town here for the kind of youth tryouts for Junior Thunderbirds, and all of them kind of echo the same thing. You know, I've texted some of the guys, and they're like, still haven't forgot about it. Like it's still
No, that
still
one's-
fresh in their minds. Which, as a fan of the Thunderbirds, honestly, I think that's something that you want to hear. Right? They didn't take it lightly. They're still not taking it lightly. It just fuels that kind of hunger for more next season. And
I think it's one of those things too that they won't get over until they start next season, right? Like it's
next season,
yeah.
or who
Or
knows
ever,
if
really,
ever,
yeah,
man.
it's-
Like, you know, a game like that, some guys may be retiring, some guys will get traded. Maybe they won't make the playoffs again, right? So that's their last chance at the postseason. And to go out in a way like that, where the what ifs, like Jammer said, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, when you look at it, the season had so much promise, right? Like these guys came in here, they were given the best odds to win the NLL Cup. Maybe that got them a little bit too high on themselves. But at the same time, they were faced with so many challenges this season, having to play home games in Hamilton, almost more games in Hamilton
Than
than were
Halifax.
played here,
Yeah.
which is nuts. And then just it was one weekend after the next, and then a doubleheader, weekend off, doubleheader again.
Doubleheader against Buffalo,
These guys
too. Yeah, like
had
it's-
no time to kind of recover, and that's just the hand you're dealt. So you got to deal with it, and it's no excuse. But I think next season they're going to be taking a good hard look in the mirror. A lot of guys are going to be coming back hungrier. I know the general manager, Kurt Stiers, is going to be doing some work in the offseason here too to make this team even more competitive. And, the guys are going to be coming in better shape too. I think the COVID layoff just affected everyone. So
It's definitely nice too, like what you said about the COVID layoff too, that it's that inaugural season. I feel like everything was being compared to that season, and I feel like that's now finally brushed away.
Yeah.
Because it was, I mean, obviously we're around the team, and I think that just was something that was constantly was being reminded, was that guys were not that team from 2 years ago. Like
Right.
we have.
Well, how absolutely wild is it that we were talking about that quite a bit in the first kind of half of the season? Like, we're always drawing comparisons to the team from the first year. The record at the halfway point of the season was identical.
Exact same.
8-1.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Crazy.
And the crazy part is too, I guess the team in the first year did kind of start to slide in the second half of the season, right? Like, I think they went 2-4 in their last their second half, and they had an extremely hot start, and then kind of the same thing here this season. So, lots to be optimistic about. I think in the future, I think it was a bit of a wake up call for the team, and I'm excited to see what they do. But what an incredible group!
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. There were some tough times along the way, but personally, working with the team, and I know you guys are in the same boat. Just miss being around the team week in, week out. It was an incredible year, and a first for me. And I don't know if I'll ever get to experience something like that again. I plan on working with the team next season, but your first, you'll never forget your first, as they say. So
No, it's true. It's just disappointing too that there was no playoff game here. I think
Right.
we were finally starting to rally around. There was some 8,000, 9,000 seat nights, and to see a playoff game here, I think would have been absolutely electric.
yeah, for sure.
Had that game in Hamilton happened here, I can't imagine what the Metro Center or Scotiabank Center would have sounded like. Man.
Halifax gets behind their teams, man. When they're winning,
It is nice
I
to
can't
see
imagine
too.
a better season.
Like obviously the Thunderbirds are still new to the market, and
Yeah.
it's good that the people are seeing that they're a competitive team. That it's not just an add-in. They're not trying to build up a reputation. They kind of came in with their reputation and are trying to uphold that reputation. And
Right.
I think they're doing the right things. It's just trying to.
Yeah, I think the positive from an organizational standpoint now too is the fact that we get to be here now for a full year without, some people are choosing to wear masks still, but without the masks and without the social distancing and leaving your seats to go and drink and eat, and then entering a room where people have their masks off again. It's just those things all contributed to, I think, lower kind of attendance records for the team.
For sure.
People were a little bit nervous to go out because of the unknown, and now I think we're transitioning into a period where people are a little bit more comfortable, and it's looking like, knock on wood here, COVID's kind of on the
Monkeypox is what we got to worry about.
geez, don't get me started.
I saw today you can only get it from sex.
Oh, I'm good then. Just nothing. Yeah, and trim.
Nice. And
Thank God I have none of that. But it's the truth. We have a summer off. An office that gets to kind of be together in a sense throughout the course of the summer into the new year, a new season, I should say. And I came in here at the end of September, so it was a little bit more tough. It was just kind of thrown into the fire and figure things out as you go. And at times it was a little bit stressful. We didn't necessarily have time to prepare. And then you get hit with the shutdowns and this and that, and from top to bottom, it was something that was kind of tough to deal with.
Well,
And
just
hats off to everyone who weathered the storm. I think now we get to come in and
So many outliers
make
that just
damage.
had nothing to do with the performance of the team, right? It's tough that they just have to deal with so many decisions that shouldn't have to be made really at this point. Obviously, I mean that's an opinionated thing, but
Well, that video that the three of us worked on, right? Like in that script that I wrote, it was a season unlike any other. And like hopefully we never have a season like that again. A set of hurdles never before faced, which is the truth, right? And there's no excuses because lots of other teams were in the same boat, but at the same time, it was difficult. So it's going to be nice to have the first, like we were like, oh, that was inaugural season 2.0.
3.0.
This is like inaugural season, the real deal,
Yeah.
3.0.
For real this time.
Yeah,
Still
for real.
Still
For
some
real.
unfinished business, right?
Yeah,
It's-
for sure there is.
Yeah.
Even more.
For
right?
sure.
Tyson, what was your, like, obviously this was our first time getting to experience working with a sports team for the whole season. What were your thoughts on the transition from being 8-1, documenting that winning team, to having to document
question.
the losing side
Great
of things?
question. I don't know. That presented a new set of challenges for myself. You know, like having to sit down and go to work on a project that I was so excited about. And you guys know at the beginning of the season, every single episode was just writing itself.
Yeah.
Like there was a feel-good story within every single game.
We just interviewed the right guys,
and
too.
That's sports, right?
And
Like-
every episode ended with, and they won.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they won again.
Yeah,
So it makes it kind of...
you know, in the project, I always wanted to kind of cover the human interest side of things. Like I didn't just want it to be about the game story, and because of logistical, you know, and budgetary troubles, I guess you can't do that. And I had big dreams for it, and you got to walk before you run, so that's okay. But
There's only so many resources to go around.
right,
You know?
and just time. Like these
Yeah.
guys are working other jobs too, and
Yeah, they're not in market stuff, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And we actually got off a call the other day and discussed the fact that we'd like to have guys come here a little bit earlier. Maybe instead of having guys live in market and you just have your Kyle Jackson and your Steph LeBlanc in town. They've obviously moved on,
Damn.
Excuse
Pour-
me, but-
pour one
yeah.
out.
Damn.
Yeah.
but you know, you have guys come in maybe even one day earlier, so we can get them on CTV morning live, get them promoting the game. You know, as a kind of PR and communications guy, I didn't have that opportunity too, so that became a bit of a challenge. But to go back to your question, Riley, I think that, you know, it became real difficult, and after a loss, obviously the mood's going to be a lot different in a room. And when you were losing the way that the team was after some of these games, the guys just don't want to talk to you,
No.
right? And I didn't even want to bring it
say,
up.
you
Like,
don't-
hey, can I bring you aside?
You don't even want
I
to
didn't
stick
want
the
to be that
camera in
guy.
the face, yeah.
I'm not that guy, pal. Trust me, I'm not that guy.
You're not that guy.
So that was the toughest part. I think 16 episodes was way too much. I think that we could have broken that down a little
Well, I
bit
think
more.
that last episode really showed that too, right? Like that you
Yeah.
you had 3 games, I think, was it in the last
Two-
episode?
well,
games,
two,
two
yeah.
games in the last episode. Like
Yeah, no, the storyline was really good in that one. I had a little bit more time to like really work with that. I think that, you know, you just notice some of the other episodes, it's tough because you're bringing everything together. You're having to go through clips. You're having to, you know, sort everything through. You were a huge help with that, just in terms of like,
Organizing,
you know,
Clip guy.
well, yeah, the clip guy, like organizing stuff, and I just didn't have that down the stretch. But yeah, I had more time to work with it, and I think the episode turned out really well. Like the audio sounded better. Like there was
the
you know,
chills
better-
coming. I had chills. I watched it 3 times now, and I've had chills
you?
each time
Oh,
I've watched
thanks,
it. I mean,
man.
obviously,
It's-
I'm pretty attached to it, but
Right,
like
right.
Yeah.
literally, man, like watching them come back and like with Jammer's speech over top of it, and like it's how do you not get chills as a sports fan?
Oh
like,
man, it.
for you to be able, and that's so yeah. I mean, continuing on that train, it just like it's been great to see how that is documented, right? And like to see how you transition the story, as in, yeah, we lost, but there's still some type of story to be told here that can transition into an uplifting drive for the next episode. Like that was something that I found was like must be challenging.
Yeah.
When the team is like, when you feel that tension when you're sticking the camera in the face. The guy that was loving the camera at the start of the year is now like a little bit more like not even talking to you kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? It's trying to find that balance. Like,
It's almost funny too because I think one of our biggest strengths as our team this year was the fact that we are sports guys, and like
Yes.
you play lacrosse, we both played hockey,
Right.
so like we really feel the emotions of the players, and so that's why it's like obviously why it's harder for you to like ask the guys, because you're basically asking them as a sports guy, not
Yeah.
as a media guy, because
Yeah.
that you know how they feel, you know like and that's been really great and
Right.
allowing us to like be able to have that access and have these guys trust us. But it's also on the other side where it's gonna like limit you at times because you don't want to be that guy.
Right. Well,
Whereas like a media guy would
Yeah.
probably still want to try to be that guy, but it's like you really got to find that
So
balance.
you listen
and
to
I
it.
think, I think you found a good balance.
Yeah. You listen to a Leafs like conference room.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
they don't care.
They just ask them. They don't
care.
care. They ask like the most ridiculous questions.
they're
What's
journalists.
his name? Steve Simmons.
I don't know. He doesn't deserve a name drop.
He
That guy needs to be
sucks.
fired.
That guy
Yes.
sucks.
That guy needs to be
Steve, you
fired.
stink.
Who's your worst defense? Why'd you start your worst defenseman?
He's like,
Who's their worst
Who's
defenseman?
my worst
Who are you
defenseman?
talking about?
Oh man, I mean, you know, those nerds are all looking for a big soundbite to make them
I want the
famous.
clicks, man.
That's it.
But yeah, no, I
And,
think it's.
well, and that's all credit to this team. You didn't hear it because I couldn't film myself talking in the locker room, but I didn't even know if it was my place to say it. But at the end there, you know, everyone's kind of giving their speeches and stuff like that, and we were all kind of making our way to the middle of the locker room there for a huddle, and it just kind of came out. It was like verbal diarrhea almost, but it was heartfelt, and I said, you know, I just want to thank everyone here. You know, I made the move across the country for this team, and you guys welcomed me with open arms and never made a peep when I put the camera in your face. And I think we were able to do something special here and kind of be trailblazers in a sense. And that doesn't happen without this organization giving us the free reign to do
creative
that.
freedom,
And
yeah.
like, man, I'd be on the road with these guys, and I felt like I was part of the team.
Yeah.
And I think
Well,
they spoke about you guys the same way too.
Yeah,
you know, they're joking around with you, like, where's Stroby? Where's Kyle? Like, they care, right?
Yeah, it's
And-
funny because like Wiz texted me last week and was like, "Oh, a bunch of us, or we're going golfing." Like,
Yes.
and I
Right.
said, "Oh, like, do you want me to come too?" He's like, "That's what I meant by we're." I was like, "Well, I didn't
Yeah.
know if you meant like the team or like."
Right.
You know, what I mean? He's like,
No,
he said, "I got 2 points." He's like,
Yeah.
first off, it makes me really sad that you have to differentiate that, and second off, I'll stop thinking of you that way if that's what you prefer. And I was like,
Yeah.
"No, dude, like I'm a part. I
Right,
love
right.
being a part of this," and that's what I mean is that we felt like we fit in because we both. It's kind of like rejuvenating that locker room mentality that we've been lacking since we stopped playing junior hockey, right? It's
It's
filled that
was,
void big time.
A void is a perfect way of putting it, man. I remember like my last year of real competitive seasons. I played junior C hockey, which was my favorite year to have
Yeah,
played.
we
Like,
both played junior B, so
yeah, so
yeah.
it was like Ontario Final Four and like small town Ontario, barn packed, game 6, overtime, heartbreaking loss. And then we go to, you know, I went out west. I played with the New West Salmon Bellies. We went to a Minto Cup, which I'd set my sights on. I always wanted to do, at least play. I was never like, I'm sick, I'm going to win a Minto. I was like, I just want to play in it.
Yeah.
And we had a heartbreaking, you know, 2-goal loss to the Orangeville Northmen, who have a ton of guys still in the NLL. Like, they were stacked.
Really?
And that happened in the same year. So those next few years, I mean, like
tough, man.
maybe like 3-4 years, like it was a serious void.
Yeah,
And
big time.
I felt something different this year, right? Like it definitely, like you said,
It
man,
rejuvenates it, right?
big
It's-
time.
And like
Big
it's
time.
like it's funny because when I'm watching the last game, I'm sitting with my roommates and I'm like into it. Like I'm like when they're coming back, I'm like fuck yeah, like screaming at the
Yeah,
TV, and
yeah.
they're like, "You turned into a fan this year." It's like, of course I did. I've been with this team before they even played their first
Yeah.
game.
Right.
Like
yeah, no.
I got to see Colton Armstrong. Like Matt Colton was like the first guy I met. Watch him go from like a guy that's like just fitting in the lineup to like a very important piece
consistent-
to the defensive
for sure,
puzzle,
man.
right? Like
He,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, they're like, Riley, you know what happens.
yeah.
Or are you talking about the game like live?
Yeah.
Or like
I meant game
360?
live. I meant game live.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
That makes more
Yeah.
sense.
Let's
I-
wheel you up to the conversation.
I was
here, but
having seizures behind the goal when
I can't imagine,
Keo
man.
scored and like
I saw Gillies scored.
You'll see when I drop. I've already dropped you the footage. But Keo scores and like I let out this feral scream. Like I was just so friggin' pumped,
Well-
and I'm sweating like I'm playing in the game. I'm obviously in my suit. I'm dodging like I'm at the back of the glass. Dodging cheerleaders
Yeah.
from the Toronto Rock. I
Chucking
get back
elbows.
to Charlie. Charlie's standing there. We just give each other like big hugs. Like I'll never forget it, man. After Keo scored, after Theed scored, went nuts.
Oh.
And it was. Kersey said it in the 360 episode. Privileged to be a part of a game like that, dude. I was drenched like I was playing.
No, yeah, I can imagine, man. I was sweating at home on my couch.
Warren and I were speaking on the bench. Warren's like, I'm gonna have a friggin' heart attack, man.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
was crazy, but
just smelling
Well, I mean,
salts, like
it was-
sticking them in his nose.
It was my first year with the team.
yeah.
I guess yours too, but you like you were with Vancouver last year and stuff, but like the way that from the very first game, I remember going through the footage and the fucking. They score the overtime winner, and my camera, all you can hear is me fucking running on the field, just screaming like, "Let's fucking go, let's go, boys!" And I'm like I'm part of the team. And like you really do feel like that throughout the year. And like I watched the game with my brothers.
Yeah.
Felt like I was gonna probably look like I was gonna cry. And like I watched that episode the other night when we posted it, and I was just sitting by myself watching my laptop, and I was so into it. I was like in another world, and Emma just comes over to me and she's like, "Are you like okay?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like that's what makes sports so amazing and so heartbreaking, is because like even the fucking camera guys can get so in and feel so part of something bigger than themselves that like
everyone's got their own reason for watching, whether it's betting, whether it's the production of it, whether it's you got a friend or family member that you're cheering for playing. But I want to bring up kind of like a cool, almost maybe not cool because it's terrible, and I just wanted to curl up in a ball in my bed, but like a production thing where I feel like with that episode specifically, I really, and this happens to me a little bit too much, and I need to kind of find a way to get over it, but I had a bit of analysis paralysis with it. I'm like, that game was so emotional. I'm like, how can I possibly do that justice?
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, I just can't. And I thought about it, and I sit there and I'm like thinking, and it drains me. Like I'm like the wheels are turning, and I'm like, I can't possibly come up with this episode and do that game justice and do these players justice and this organization justice. And that it made me kind of struggle a little bit. And finally I was able to kind of sit down and do it. And for me, what it was, which is funny, I used for, I would say 90% of the episode, one artist's music from Artlist.
It's unreal.
Like strings and very like emotional and
orchestra, just like
contemplative music.
Yeah.
And funny thing was that I got it from an Instagram story that another creator had posted, and I just I clicked it. I'm like, oh, I really like this music, like the feel, and I started like I went into Spotify and I got the music and I downloaded it to my phone, and I love listening to that stuff like instrumental whatever.
Yeah, you can.
And then I found it on Artlist later, and I'm like, shit, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do, and now I get it royalty
I'm actually
free.
allowed to use this one.
Oh my god, it was
shit.
It was just like the clouds just opened, and it was like, here you go, man. So that I'll always be proud of that one episode. Honestly, I texted you guys through and through the whole process, but wish you guys were there, and we had a few different camera angles and stuff, but
it's still a startup, right? It's like that's it. Well, we're understanding of that too. Like we obviously I would have given my left foot to be at that last game just to get to the coop, really. But even just we're excited to just feel like we're a part of the team already at the ground level. For knowing that there's gonna be new guys that come in next year, and realistically like Withers or Shanks or someone will like introduce us to that. Like it's not gonna be like a weird, we're just the camera guy. It's like you're out there, you're shooting the shit with the guys. Like it's nice to be that comfortability with the team, right? Like
for sure. And I have to remind myself of this a lot of the time too. Is just like this is just a starting point, and a friend of mine once told me you like to move faster than the universe, hence the Flash. But you gotta just
Flash Media House, Flash Nova Scotia, Doug told
Flash the dog.
Sorry, what's his handle?
And I had NHL Flash.
NHL
I
Flash.
think it's still got like 13,000 followers on Instagram. Locked out of the account, but
devastating.
What the
it's a
heck?
whole other story.
What's going on, Mark?
No, but like next year, if the three of us got to work on every single episode together, and we
Only like 8 episodes though, eh?
Remember how?
Yes.
I swear, I don't know if I ever said it out loud, but when at the beginning of the year you were like, we're doing one every game, and in my head I'm just like,
pretty sure,
Well,
I think everyone said that.
no, I was like,
yeah,
maybe not, but also like,
because like the Leafs don't even do that, and they play 82 games.
Well,
but I mean, it's because they play 82 games too. But like,
I just and you did it, man. It's unbelievable.
I just
close at times, man. I was just like, why?
I just grew such a passion this year for sports documenting. Like,
Definitely, yeah.
and I really,
It's
and
fun.
like obviously I was with them the year before, and this
Yeah.
year was just a totally different feeling of like. The first year I was just kind of blindly recording everything, hoping I'll pull together some type of hype video, and or the first year, and then this year it was like, Tyson. So who are we looking at tonight? Like,
Right.
what's the story tonight? Who do you want me to focus on? Like, feeling that type of like actual direction and storytelling was like so.
Right. Well, it's funny because you can plan for so much too, right? Like we have our little debriefing before the game, or pre-briefing or briefing. Yes.
Need another one?
So before the
Not
game,
quite.
before the game,
You beat me to
we're
it, eh?
Beat you again. Sorry.
sure, yeah.
I just do that because I know I can cut myself out and just put it on you the whole
no,
time.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I might have another one too.
Fix that in post.
Probably drunk because I didn't eat breakfast. But
Interesting one to me.
yes, oatmeal. Right, this is my breakfast.
I don't know if this is a me beer. We'll see.
It's very tasty. It's just very different.
It's like coffee almost.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Brenda has it all.
When I started to like coffee, I think that's when this opened up. Okay, so we do our briefing before the game, and you come up to me, and I speak with you guys. I'm like, okay, focus on this player and this player. This is where the storylines could be, and then the storylines could be there, or they could take like the bold situation, for example. This guy's coming in playing his former team. Great story. He comes on. He goes on to win. That's clearly your story.
Yeah.
But there's other times where Eric Fennell, you're not focusing on him pregame. However, he scores that goal offhand.
To win in
left-handed,
overtime.
And then you got to change the course of the episode, and it becomes a new thing, right? And
And it's good to have, as a producer, I can imagine it's good to have people that understand sports.
yes.
Just what to say.
Just
Right?
well,
Because like we can.
Because there was
see
times,
it happen,
there was
right?
times you would text us, be like, "Focus on War," and he's dialed in. It's like I just watched him make 40 saves.
Yeah.
I'm already on him the whole
Got it.
time. Like,
right, yeah, it's like that too, and we're at different places throughout the game. Like I'm doing the sideline reporting, and you guys are running around the arena, and you need guys that just kind of know what to look for, right, and get those good clips. So, I think we can dream big. I think every NLL team realistically should have a few people that can do these roles, and maybe say it was on the road or something like that. Stroby and I are out there shooting footage, and we're running back and we're bringing you the footage. You're cutting something up real time. Bam! Like we could have it like
The
clockwork.
technology exists,
Oh, for sure it does.
but it's on Premiere Pro, so.
Oh, well, no, we're just getting you the footage. You're just doing the editing. Right?
True. So we're good. We're good to go.
I would
just
love
throw
to
it in
get
a
like a graphics guy involved, or maybe just learn how to do that myself, because it's invaluable. But good start for sure. I think.
Yeah.
Again, hopefully we were trailblazers in a sense.
I started realizing that there are other teams doing like good productions, like Philadelphia. They started having some really good produced content near the end of the season. Saskatchewan was definitely putting in some more effort and time.
Sask has like I wouldn't call them one-offs, but like here and there they'll put a really sick production together. Like they'll hire a team.
Yeah,
and it looks great.
I think ours, and it could be biased. I didn't look into every team, but I think ours was the most fluent and consistent throughout every platform. Like the Twitter,
Except TikTok,
Twitter's,
we could be better.
Yeah,
but
TikTok, absolutely. Like
something we need to
Buffalo,
work on.
it does very well on TikTok. Like Toronto just started doing well. Like there's stuff that you start to notice that they pop up, but just like for us to, and I'll say this, it's like to send one of the videos that another team did into our group and be like, why did they shoot this in that frame rate? Or like stuff like that. Like I feel like we are trailblazers in the sense that everything we produced this year was like fucking electric.
Yeah.
Like was like there was we didn't miss. I think in my opinion, like
no, I don't think so either.
and especially like we were fortunate in that like we kind of got dialed in the sense that Kyle was doing the highlight reels, I was doing the drip, you were doing 360, and those were kind of all starting to come together.
Yeah,
Obviously, I think like if we're all working on 360 and can all implement that together in some way, like
right. Well, just we're the three of us are working on 360. Inevitably, we're gonna find those clips that, all right, we got the episode being played here and it's being worked on, but then here, take this clip, make a reel out of it. Boom. You know what I mean? Like that whole, we're going through the footage from that week, so we know things inside and out.
Yep.
We can make the long form, not long form, but like the minute reel that's promoting a game. if we get guys in market, like think about that. We could
yeah.
be doing promotional clips with these guys like around town, get the smoke bombs behind them. And,
Yeah.
Well, that was one thing too, is like when we're all able to sit down and like review all the footage and we like, because the only reason that we were able to put together like the videos towards the end of the year with like all throughout the whole year, like the playoff hype and stuff, is because like
Kyle organized them.
I've seen every single clip that we've taken, you know, and I've organized it, and it was still like not easy to find.
No,
but, like,
it's tough.
if we can all, like you said, we can all have access to these things, and they're going to be able to be like, oh, I remember seeing this clip from like week 3 that would like fit good here. Right. It's like,
so funny we talk about that, because that's what we need to do today. Sort through these clips.
Yeah.
Yoicks, they're all in the NOS now though.
Yeah, we got.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
But I definitely need to go. I'll go through personally, and I just want to make sure I've got all the clips on one of my hard drives.
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of go through and just.
It's a couple terabytes for sure.
Oh, I got 4. 4 up the
Could
grabs,
be more
maybe
than that.
more.
Could be more.
Well, we'll start with half the season, and then we'll go from there. Moving on.
I was thinking, and that's like even on that. It's like I was thinking even this morning in the shower. Like I feel like that all my creative thoughts happen there, but it's I'm sitting thinking it's like fuck. I wonder how the Wanderers did last night, and then it's like, oh, like are they documenting that? Like I had and then it's like, well, I'd like to do that, be that team that's doing that. And then my thought was, well, we haven't really marketed that we are those guys. Like we've just kind of posted a couple videos of highlight reels or like favorite videos that we've posted. It's just Uncharted, I'm speaking. And it's like, now I'm thinking, well, okay, well, let's go back. We're going to find the best cinematic shots, the best shots that were most powerful this year, and make a highlight reel. And it's going to be so easy because Kyle seen all that stuff, curated it all. And like, even on that, like, I just want to, I think our skill set collectively can be applied in so many different settings that it's not just for the Thunderbirds. I think that like
Could be for a university football team,
Right.
SMU football,
anything,
hockey, whatever.
anything.
Like we've got the tools to make it happen,
And
you know, between all the equipment we have, I was thinking about this yesterday. Jesus, like we've got so much money worth of equipment. I'm going out to put a line of credit together tomorrow that I need to pay off, but yeah, like. We've got so much gear to make it happen, and I'm really happy I did that. At the end of the day, is like invested in my own gear,
Big
so I
time.
can just, you know, even if things go, I got fired, for example. I get fired. I can pick up and I can work in Europe when I get my Polish
100%,
passport
dude.
in 3 months. So
Yeah, 100%. No, dude, and like that's the thing too. It's that there's so many with sports. There's so many opportunities that like obviously like there's the main leagues like the NHL, the NBA, the NFL. Like they're front runners, but like I'm really enjoying being the trailblazer or like front runner in the NLL.
I know,
be, like,
it's cool.
It's cool to watch it grow, and like I really hope that it kind of hits that PLL status where there's a big marketing budget and they're putting the right people in the right places. And
Well, new commissioner coming in next season, so hopefully
for the NLL is there?
hopefully that gentleman or madam decides to take an actual digital first approach. Like our old
important,
commissioner,
man.
and I have no problem saying this on the record, guy all the time said, we're digital first, we're digital first. We don't have an app, bro. We don't have an app.
Yeah, as a
How do you
professional.
not have an app
Yeah,
as a digital first league? Like give me an app that showcases these highlights. If I want to isolate a highlight, like the NHL does, I can go through. Last night it was on my phone. Cut my cable, so I'm watching the Oilers highlights. Kane scores, right? So I tap Kane.
Again.
I hate him so much.
But he's dialed right now.
Oh my god.
Evander.
Of course.
On the pod, Evander.
Yeah, that guy's getting paid this year. He's getting some money back. Anyway, sorry. Continue on that.
So I click a highlight. The highlight comes up. You could just, like, as a sports fan, it's just literally at your fingertips. The NLL just doesn't have that quite yet. The website's lagging. You know, the scores doesn't necessarily reflect what's going on live. Big steps, don't get me wrong, with, you know, TSN Direct and ESPN. But, yeah, we need an app, bigger marketing budget for the league. Dude, I have so many ideas where we're not going to necessarily, as a league, break the bank to do good production. right?
Imagine if the three of us were traveling around on it as a series, right? Like it's like
Well, as a series, but
obviously,
but
like
having
I've said,
car wash days multiple times throughout the year where you're getting different guys at different times.
Yeah.
Book them in advance. Say, hey, Wednesday in Ontario, Wednesday in Vancouver, whatever. Put so much stuff together. You just need to come
Yeah.
with ideas and have things planned, think ahead. Because the NLL was reusing the same car wash stuff from the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
all season.
yeah, on TSN and everything too.
And
yeah.
you know what I mean? COVID, a thing again. Like, you got to take these things into consideration. But I think there's, a long way we can kind of go with it. So, but it's cool to be at the ground level with it. There's just a lot of growing pains.
Yeah.
And times that I keep myself up at night because I'm passionate about it, thinking about it. So.
Yeah, well, and that's the reason you're like we had our Tommy Six session like last week. It's like that's the reason you're one of the best in the industry at it, man. And I think it's like I'm very happy. I said to Kyle all the time, very happy that we have met because I feel like it's expedited our process in learning everything and how this is documented. And I think like you said, the sky is the limit. And like as someone who is a fan of the Thunderbirds now, I would love to continue on working with the Thunderbirds and keep storytelling like this. But I really think there's an opportunity for us to like present our skill set as a 3-man crew or 4-man crew, whatever that be. To other leagues and other teams, like
other leagues may be a little bit more saturated with production teams, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this, because typically
under a big
guys,
microscope, right?
I don't know. Maybe not necessarily too. I was gonna say like maybe guys in this space are paid a little bit less, but I don't think that's the case because you have so many people in an oversaturated market. You have a lot of people taking jobs for less, right? Whereas this is you got to find the good ones. But I find that in this space sometimes the decision makers maybe don't care or don't know the good ones.
I say this with the utmost respect to anyone in this industry, but I think it's just a generational gap. And like, I think like marketing has clearly become the like most consumed industry by everybody right now. Like,
well, you got to look at a way to capitalize on it too, like and make you money. And you need us to be doing the production, but you need the marketing people to be that liaison between the production team and the consumer. And I think that is a little bit what we're lacking right now. Like, you got these sick productions. Well, who's doing the marketing of them? Yeah. That's a whole marketing team. You go to the NHL, like there are people that are marketing those clips. They know what to do with that, and we lack that right now.
Well, it's like, and it's kind of like a conversation shift, but like it's an eye-opening thing to see how much money is like the reason these leagues and content is being pushed so much is because of the money behind it and the people putting it on the right eyes. Like even looking at like the music industry right now is being like is like a little bit being exposed for like forcing their artists to do like TikToks and stuff. Like, have you been watching that? So like seeing that side of it is like a little, I don't know, it seems like another tangent to go on, but it seems like it's more so just putting the right money behind the right, or putting the money behind the content to get on the right eyes.
Well, you got to put it behind the content, but then you have to put it behind the marketing too. So I think that's where, at times we kind of fell short this year. Is like we did 360, put a lot of money into that, in terms of my salary, bringing you guys on, filming that, like, the travel costs. That's all your stuff you're investing in this project, and we didn't really put much marketing behind it. No. So then maybe like, why are you doing it? To only tweet about it a couple times. Yeah. So but again, first season, so that's gonna happen. It's funny you talk about the artists being forced to do things and like TikTok and stuff. Like, I think players in our league kind of have a little bit more of a responsibility as we try to grow to do this stuff on camera to open up, and they've come a long way. I started with the NLL when the digital stuff started with the league. They had, like, it didn't exist before I worked there in 2016, and we had a camera for this big ass 4K camera. We had no idea what to do with it. I didn't know anything about frame rates, about about ISO. Like, he told me what ISO was. I'd be like, are you speaking Mandarin right now?
What language is this?
But we had all that stuff, and the guys, especially the Canadian players, it was funny. American guys are a little bit, better spoken on camera, for the most part, but the Canadian guys were just not open to it. And a couple years, maybe a year and a half later, after I started, I remember Jake Withers was one of the guys, Austin Shanks too. We were working with the Rochester Nighthawks, and I really noticed them, like, these guys grew up with seeing this stuff, and it's going to start to get a lot easier.
Yeah.
Wiz, man, you put a camera on him, and he'll go, and he'll go, and he'll go.
Yeah.
And it's all good shit.
Yeah.
Like, and Shanksy, too. Shanksy's comfortable as shit on camera. Man, he can talk, and he's entertaining to watch. Like, I watched back, I think it was the second episode of 360 the other day, when he's talking about Wiz and his, gaming addiction.
Yeah.
And Shanksy's great, man. He's like very animated when he's talking. He's fun to watch, and these guys just get it. And that was when it kind of clicked for me.
Yeah.
It's like, there's going to be a shift.
Yeah. Well, you want, and like that's obviously like, as we move into more of a digital age, it's like that's just what like you said about. I mean, I wanted to say this earlier when you were talking, but like about taking less for more, as in like taking less payment to enjoy what you're doing more, is like seems like such a I don't know, like I don't know how to say that it's like right now as millennials, I feel a lot of people are willing to take a pay cut to enjoy what they do,
Which is a problem.
it is a problem,
Right.
Because there's
I
a
don't
lot
think
of
that should exist.
No, and like because it's like you look at the generation before us, that there's a lot of like looking at these guys doing these, like they're cleaning the windows. It's like I can't imagine a world where it would exist where I would ever do that job, or how much you'd have to pay me to do that. But like, because I know that I have a certain skill set that I can apply it somewhere else and make enough to make ends meet, I'm like, I'll just do that instead of going out on the edge of a building and cleaning the windows. You know what I mean? I don't know. And again, it's like another tangent, and the breakfast beers are talking a little bit.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
You don't eat breakfast, and then you have a beer.
Yeah.
No, I get that 100%. It's something growing up, being 33 years old now, and having invested so much into my dream, I guess, is like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, I should have just been a fucking finance guy or something.
Always.
Right?
It's crazy. I've been seeing a lot of.
That thought at the end of every month.
Well, yeah, like people that I graduated.
The rent man's coming.
People I graduated Acadia with, like the last couple weeks, I've seen people get their CPA. I've seen people graduate med school, and it's like
Law school. Yeah.
these people are just like. I mean, obviously it's hard work and like, but like
Yes.
it's like they got it all figured out. It seems, and it definitely
just-
makes you question like, what's
But
going
that's
on?
high
that's
risk, high reward,
That's
right?
also such a double-edged sword in the sense that like when I stopped going to university, and I was like, it was second year that I stopped going, and then 2 years later, all my friends from Ontario are graduating and moving, and they're all getting jobs downtown Toronto. But now I'm seeing those same people trying to find trying
Trying to find their passion.
Trying to find their passion.
Yeah.
So I'm like super, like I'm so happy that it always comes back to people saying like, you're so lucky that you discovered that at such a young age, because I've always like I live a passion fueled life, and like I feel like I take that for granted in some way, that it's like, yes, we're stressed at the end of the month for rent because we don't have a job that we're clocking into at 7 a.m. and getting out at 5 p.m. every day, like.
Fuck the 9 to 5, man.
Right? I don't think, and like our hours are like so bizarre. Like people are always saying, you guys are so busy. It's like sitting on Wednesday.
I mean, I deal with that.
We're recording a conversation right now.
I deal with that in sports.
Yeah, it's.
Why do we have these 9 to 5 hours? Like, I'm the most productive. Dude, that episode of 360, for example, like when I put in the biggest chunk of work, I was up till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And consistently, like that's when I'm most productive.
Yeah,
And,
same.
it's just like the 9 to 5 hours. I'm sorry, they don't work for me.
No,
They
and
never
like
will,
that's
so.
it's something too that it's been an adaptation, or like for me, because like prior to us having this office space, adaptation.
Adaptation. Yeah, I think,
Like that.
right? Adaption.
If I would have said
Adaptation.
adaptation sounds like such a smarter word than adaptation. So
Way to go, Biz.
yeah, but either way,
Strobe 20.
us
promo
having
code.
this office space down here like has changed my workflow entirely. Like prior to me and Kyle meeting, prior to us getting office space down here, my working was 11 p.m. till 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Sitting down there at the desk, just like not a distraction in the world, just dialed into editing whatever the
Right.
hell you're doing. Like,
Well, then, think about a 9 to 5 kind of like life day to day. Like, are you really working 9 to 5? No, you're kind of
you're waiting
beating
till
your
5.
nuts.
You're just waiting till 5.
Walking around doing, you're waiting till 5, but also like killing time doing this and
Yeah.
that. When we do that 11 p.m. till 4 a.m.,
It's a
you're fucking locked in,
You're locked
man.
in. Yeah.
I'm like, it's a
week's
time
worth of work.
Yeah.
It's a time warp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You're not watching the clock at all. You in fact look back at the clock and you
that-
go, holy shit, I still have so much to do.
Yeah.
And the clock
And it's-
just like poof.
And it still comes back to just the fact that we're in passion fueled industry right now, right?
Yeah.
That like we enjoy what we're doing, so for us to do it from 11 to 4 a.m., it doesn't feel like fucking work,
No.
you know?
But
So,
I also don't want to do my passion at fucking 9 in the morning. You know?
some days you do, some
Well,
days you
okay. Listen, there. That's very subjective, I guess.
don't.
If I'm
Connor, you want to come get on the podcast yet, or what? Soon.
Soon.
Connor Stoylov coming soon.
Harvest 20 for 20% off. No, if I'm going to the Scotiabank Center and I'm recording with the team and whatever, simple to get out of bed, dude, because it's a little bit different. Like you're going and the action's kind of there, and you don't necessarily have to like hype yourself up to do it. But when it comes, I find editing's a lot different. I brought up that analysis paralysis kind of thing, right?
I've never heard that
You
before.
need to
I like
be
that too.
you need to be in the right headspace, because I feel like for us, I don't want to sound like a douchebag by any means, but we're kind of like creating art, right? You're creating something that people want to watch, something that evokes emotion,
Yeah.
right? Like with that last episode of 360, Accuracy texted me, he's like, "You made my girls cry," and I said, "Don't lie, you cried too." And he said, "Yeah, I did, you jerk." Right? And other people are like, "Oh, I had goosebumps and stuff." To me, that's art.
Yeah.
And you watch it 3 times. I watched it back fucking 6 times.
Yeah, and like it's
You know what
like
I mean?
even
It's-
doing these podcasts, I'll sit and watch it 6
Yeah,
times
for sure.
and it's a fucking
For
This
sure.
one's gonna be like probably an hour and a half plus.
It's
like
it's entertainment, and to me, entertainment is art.
yeah,
So
and
Well, I mean, it's like I've said this before. Is like some like people will be like, well, I'll come to the office on like a Sunday when nobody's here, and people are like, what? Why are you at work on a Sunday? It's like, well,
I'm that person.
well, yeah,
Buddy,
but
I'm
it's
in bed. What are you
but
doing?
It's exactly what you guys are saying. It's like today I feel like doing work. I feel like making things.
Same, dude.
I'm
Yeah.
in the mind space to do it, and
Yeah.
I know that maybe tomorrow I'm not
Yeah.
going to feel like that, and
Right.
I take
That-
advantage
yeah.
of that every chance I get, because I know that like if I work on this Sunday, maybe if I feel not great on Tuesday, that's okay.
well, that's it.
You know?
Your typical 9 to 5er that
You
maybe
gotta
just
take
doesn't
advantage.
care as much about this isn't going to be having a creative light bulb go off at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday.
in the shower. you know what I mean?
and be like, oh my god, I just I
gonna
had
go
something
do
pop
it.
into my head. I had a great idea walking up here for like a kind of like preseason promo. Like it's just weird when this stuff.
Put it in the
'cause I was
notes,
listening
put it in the
to
notes, put it in the notes, yeah.
instrumental string music from another artist in my headphones, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of inspiring me to come up with almost
Yeah.
like a concept. And yeah, man. I mean, the mood can strike at any time, right?
Yeah.
It's-
Exactly. You got to take advantage.
yeah.
That's where the 9 to 5 doesn't make sense. But
Well, and yeah, it's. I was gonna I wanted to say something on that.
it's results based, not time based.
It's funny that
We
you.
get the job done.
Yeah,
It's
some
funny
people just
too
don't care.
that you think it's like we're also fortunate that like what we do, you can see there's an end deliverable. It's like so it's like what you get done is like interpreted a certain way. Like you can tell if it's a good deliverable, bad deliverable. But what I was gonna say was, with being like you said about the guys that are graduating right now or the girls that are graduating right now, like they have their shit together. It's like, why does it feel like you need to be working 9 to 5 to feel like you have your shit together?
No, I don't think. I just
No, but
think
I'm,
they're
I'm
just
not,
going to
I'm
be
not
making
saying
a
that. I'm
bunch
saying,
more money
but
than me.
but like,
Oh, it's a consistent income, right?
Yeah,
I've done
that's-
both.
yeah,
I've done both. I came here for a sense of security as well because I was doing that life and I led myself to burnout. I was like, new client? Yeah. New client? Yeah, like, dude, cut it off. You're like, you're living a good life. I was so burnt out, man. I was out of my, I'm burnt out now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just getting over that. Like, it's hard to wake up sometimes. It's just like hard to like unwind. It's like my brain is messed up after that year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you kind of like, you go for a sense of security.
It's definitely
and that's why the, you know, the 9-to-5ers do it. You know what your money is.
On top
it's
of the
easier
money,
to
though,
budget coming in.
It's like, and I've experienced this working in the restaurant industry, is like when you clock out, I was never thinking about the restaurant until I got back to the restaurant.
That's
so you clock out and you can do whatever you want.
So,
Such
it doesn't work like that.
But
man.
I say you leave here, and it's like say we leave here, and it's like I'll text you at like 11:30.
You never clock out, man.
No, hey, we're going on the podcast tomorrow. We're doing a podcast.
I was just like, okay.
You know, it's like it's the wheels are always turning.
Right,
It's like Tyson walking up here. The wheels are always turning, right? You're never off.
It's time.
This kind of came up with the girl I was seeing, that I am seeing, and it was just like a kind of an intimate moment, and then there was a conversation that happened after, where hey, maybe like you're not into it, whatever. I'm like, listen, I just got to be straight up. I have this project that's hanging over me, and when I have it hanging over me, it has nothing to do with you. It's more just like over my head, and I can't think about anything but that. And you're wearing it like a fucking heavy backpack, right? So that's what we have to deal with, as opposed to checking out and clocking out at 5 and never thinking about it again. You've got that project until you sit down and you put in 17 hours to get it done, as opposed to just, whatever it takes in your 9 to 5, right? Like there's deadlines to hit, and you don't sleep, and sometimes there's not deadlines, so you just push it too far.
I think it's almost that there's no deadlines sometimes to hit too, except for the ones you set for yourself, right? Like it's and that's the thing, is like learning to set deadlines for yourself, I think, is important. Like I started doing like little to-do lists.
Yes.
So
lists are huge.
Yeah, and to the point that I literally like took my notebook to bed last night and was like, that's how I'm going to end and start every day now.
Yeah.
And then today I woke up and forgot my to-do list at home.
Right.
So I'm 0 for 1.
Work in progress.
I have to pee though.
Well,
I have to pee.
Oh,
you guys keep talking.
My to-do lists are like 2 pages long, and then I forget to do them ever again. But I need to get back on that train for sure. So
See if I can do it.
we're back after a couple peas.
It's not just for you. This is for Tyson too.
Okay.
Yeah, we're back after a strong stream. If you could die right now or live forever, which do you choose and why?
I've always been a live forever guy, which is crazy because a lot of the time I've hated my time on this earth.
I want to live forever just so I can want to die every day,
That's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's you in a nutshell.
If you wanted a clip for Instagram, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's a good one.
No, honestly though, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I've always kind of been like that. I'll bring something up that's kind of off that topic though.
Yeah, that's what the point of those questions are for.
Okay, sure, man. We can go
No,
into a whole
no,
other
take
thing.
it.
I was up pretty late last night digging into like my family tree, and I recently got on Ancestry DNA. You know what I mean? Ancestry, or whatever.
Ancestry.com.
.com,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
But doing the DNA stuff.
Yeah.
But then you build your family tree, and you can go back and search through all these records and whatever, and like find
Like archives,
who's, holy shit, man, it's crazy. Like it was blowing my mind reading about my grandmother, the experience she faced. My grandfather and great uncle fought in the war for Poland in the Air Force, and they were stationed in Britain. They were captured, and they were on like a cattle farm, I think. And like I'm learning like all these stories, but I guess the point and the reason I bring this up is because growing up, I was. If you would ask me, would you want to live in the future or the past? And I always would have told you as a kid the future. And now I'm so fascinated by the past and what led us here and what life would have been like back then. Fuck the cell phones and the cameras, which is kind of ironic because that's what pays the bills.
You'd have no money without
and
it. Yeah.
It's my livelihood.
Yeah.
But,
No, I feel you there. Yeah.
At the same time, it just seems so friggin' cool. And I've dug into some pretty cool shit. And I brought up the Polish passport thing, but I'm working on getting that. And
It's just super cool. Yeah.
I can go to the EU and work wherever the hell I want.
Yeah. I love that.
It's pretty hot. Man, that's a tough.
Okay, so answer that question, and then answer: would you rather live in the future or the past?
Yeah, I think live forever, I guess. I feel like that's probably the play. I'd be more concerned about like my family and friends and stuff. And I mean, obviously they'd pass away eventually, but I would hate to put that on them right now.
But
Like,
for me
like
to do that-
Bicentennial Man. Remember that movie?
I never saw that one.
You know what I mean? Like
Living forever would be crazy because you would just.
Be sad.
It'd be really sad. You'd be
Yeah.
living through every generation
Can I
of
change
your
my
family.
answer?
Yeah, I mean,
it's tough.
it's good and bad. Like I also don't to die right now. I'm not.
Not really
I
down
don't
for
feel
that.
fulfilled. My mother would be devastated.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
I
like,
wouldn't want to do that to my loved
You
ones
don't
right
feel
now.
fulfilled?
I don't, and like it's funny that I say I don't feel fulfilled because I just feel like we're still so early in what we're doing.
Yeah.
So like
Easy to forget that, man. It's so easy to forget that.
it's like humbling when like someone who's older than you and you stop taking it as people just saying, oh, you should take advantage of your time or take advantage of being single at 27. Like there's people that are saying these things because they mean it, and like
Yeah.
so like I just feel like we're just getting started as much as it's because it's I don't know it's
100%.
Well, man,
But
I mean,
we're less than 2 years into our
And I'm-
business, man.
and, like, I don't
we
even-
talk to people like Matt Smith. They're like, what? How many years
yeah,
he's
he's like
been
10,
in it?
he's
10?
like 10, 15 years
15
in.
years. Imagine less than 10 years.
Yeah.
you know what?
It's crazy.
What I was thinking about when I sat down, and it's funny you bring this up. I was thinking about last night, and I'm 33 now, and I'd like to have a family at some point. I'd like to get to that point and probably have a house and do all the shit that society says that I should do. However, when I was looking at all this stuff and looking back to my roots in Poland and whatever, I'm just like, I want to go there. Like I want to go there. I want to live there. I
wanna
want to
feel it.
experience
Yeah.
life there. And you know, my grandfather was a huge influence in my life, and he died when I was 10. But he always kind of taught me to respect the country of my origin, and like I've always had a tie to Poland without having ever been there. But that was one of the things I was thinking about. Like if I could give you guys advice, is like go out there and do shit and see shit.
Yeah.
And do it while you can before you're fucking a rickety old man
Well,
at 33.
yeah, like,
and
I
you
truthfully-
can't.
I truthfully-
I can, but I mean, so many of my friends now have kids.
Right.
And then
My friends
they
are
never
starting to have
did
kids
that
now,
shit.
too, yeah.
And maybe you don't want that life,
Yeah.
and that's totally fine. But
I think we're the fact that we live in an industry or we work in an industry where you're showcasing experiences. I want to just continue to just experience and like.
well, think about it. If you have the opportunity to live in Europe, which you do,
Yeah.
right? Like you can go and get a
Anywhere.
visa when you're under 30. I know for sure in the UK. I don't know about other spots in Europe, which is good and you
Yeah.
should take full advantage of. Think about it. The drone footage you get over there, the fucking,
Yeah.
you know, just the
No,
ISO
no,
shots,
yeah.
the whatever. Take advantage of that while you can.
Yeah.
Now, that was the one thing I was working on this thing and you know looking at the map in Poland and whatever. I'm like, I could live anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
why didn't I do this
Yeah.
before I had?
I say
debt?
that all the time. It's like
Got myself into debt.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
in debt too, and it's
yeah.
like I know, Kyle. Yeah, but like we say it all the time. It's like, why do we choose to live? I like when the sun's out, I can get out of bed at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, no problem. Like when it's like, why do we choose to live somewhere where it's cold and dark and shitty X amount of times of the year, X amount of months of the year?
Yeah.
But like for me, like I kind of circling back on the conversation too. Like at the same time that all my friends were starting to graduate, get their shit together in quotations.
There's no getting your shit together.
Yeah, like
So you
and
figure
I
out-
was just started getting paid to travel for work, and I got to experience New York, which was life changing for me, just to
Yeah.
see that city and be in that city and feel the energy that's
Yeah.
going on there. Got to experience California, which is like a life goal of mine was to go there, and like now I kind of want to live there, even though of how shitty
Yeah,
it's not great.
it doesn't have
I don't
any
want to
more
live.
than
I
it
don't.
once did.
I don't want to live there for the
For
same
sure.
reasons that like
You
an,
used to?
an actor would want to live
Oh, I see
there,
what
or
you're
like that I used to like.
No, listen,
before I was like, I'll get there and I'll get some
the
sick content
landscapes
like these
are-
guys have, and
The
but like it's
landscapes are phenomenal, right? Like the stuff to go and
it's cra-
photograph.
and I think the reason that people are saying that LA is so shitty is because
Mm-hmm.
of how people are becoming there, in the sense that you're there just to document that you're in LA and.
Mm.
You're running into all these people with blue check marks and followers, and it's like it's so accessible.
gotta go to these
But at the end of the day,
parties
you're
and-
gonna come home and not be around those people. It's like
yeah,
it's like we're in a. It just going to these places just like changed my perspective on everything, And like when you look at someone who's like at a party with someone with 3.5 million followers and they're taking pictures with them, it's like, oh fuck, like they were the so and so last night, and then they come home and it's like they were just at a party, like it's like
You see them at Sobeys.
yeah, right. It's like you see them at
Yeah.
Good Food or whatever it is
Yeah.
down. Like it's a completely different perspective when it's like we're here and you're not the people you're running into are like they just don't have a bunch of followers on Instagram, so they're not famous or important. So it's like I just think everybody's has their own importance, has their own story, has their own shit going on, and like
Yeah.
for me, I would have never gotten to experience that had I not traveled, got out of my comfort zone, traveled alone, went places that I'd never been before.
Well, how cool would it be? And I would love to travel with two guys like you, and I love doing what I do with U.S. Boxing. But if we're able to get the two of you down there this summer to California, we should go for a couple extra days and get content. But I was thinking, like, if the three of us went somewhere, and here's what's tough about traveling, right? When you've got the production or the producer in mind, and you're maybe with someone who doesn't give a shit about that stuff, and you want the camera out all the time, you're trying to get footage. Three of us went, we've all got that in mind.
Yeah, it's like we got to film this right now. What
Oh
we're
my
doing.
god,
Yeah.
the shit that we could get would be phenomenal.
Yeah, like I did
When you talk
California
about
by myself. I did New York by myself. Like it's a different.
It's not the same.
Not by myself in New York, but still like with
Let
just
me
like
let,
yeah.
let me get the drone out.
Right.
I'm just gonna get the drone out
Yeah.
to get some footage. People are like, fuck, man, come
Yeah.
on,
We're trying to go to
Tyson.
this
Just just enjoy the moment. It's like this is enjoying the moment.
Yeah,
Like
for me- I
there's
love
so
this
often
shit.
like I'll scroll like how often you just scroll through your Snapchat memories or your phone like your
Yeah.
gallery. It's like and there's also times when it's like fuck I wish I would have had my camera at that time. Like I wish I would have taken some more content.
No,
Like
well, yeah, I just get caught without my A7S III, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like this. Anyone can do this shit.
Yeah.
For me, I love it. I love getting a good drone shot.
Yeah.
I get an
Jul-
adrenaline
your
rush from it.
your Instagram story when you were in St. Lucia or wherever you were a couple weeks ago.
Oh, Cayman Islands.
You sent me a video and Julian was like, your comfortability with taking selfies in public is just like unfathomable or something like that. And it's like that's like I'm all for that energy. That it's like
Right.
fuck what anybody thinks that you're sticking your arm out. Like
Yeah.
for the longest time I'd like have
Yeah,
that.
to a degree, right? Like,
True.
I mean,
Enjoy
I
the
think we're in
moment,
the
too.
production realm, so us versus someone who's setting up their selfie stick as a tripod on the beach and doing a dance and like twerking, like fuck you.
What kind of dance is
you
it? exactly?
loser? Like I don't
I
personally.
think we're gonna need to see it.
Nice, you took it the direction I was going to.
Twerk.
But sorry,
I
yeah.
don't personally. I like to be in the pictures too, but I don't need to be in the pictures. I like to shoot drone footage.
Yeah.
I like to like capture moments and almost showcase what an experience or a location is like. And yeah, so to have my camera to do that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny that you remember that. That was actually a good one. I might turn that one into a reel.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a picture of you like in front of so many different people in different spots. It'd be really funny.
Oh man.
But no, and like
That
it's.
would actually be a good Instagram thing.
Have you traveled? Have you gotten to travel much? You went to Europe.
I went to Europe right after I graduated Acadia
Yep.
because I needed more debt. That's why I went. I wanted more.
Nah, but that's
debt.
good debt.
It's not
It was
debt.
great.
It's not debt though. At
No,
that
it
point,
was-
If financially, yes.
No, it
That's
was
good debt. Take
I'm
that
just
debt.
kidding, guys. I'm just kidding.
Take
But-
that debt.
No, it was before I bought a camera. It was when I just got my nutrition degree. Thought I was going to do that, and I went to Europe, and that's really where I fell in love with photography. I took literally 1,000, maybe more photos on my phone in 2 weeks, and yeah, I did London, did Prague, Berlin, Amsterdam.
Sick.
I'd like to go through all those photos one day and find the best ones because I think there are some good ones. But literally iPhone 6 photography, like,
That's cool.
and really fell in love with the different cities, the architecture, just the vibes, and yeah, I came back from that and was definitely changed for sure. Just seeing the scale of the world really, and how it was a lot of what I expected it to be, but it was a lot different as well.
Yeah, we're caught up in a bubble in a sense
Yeah.
too here, right? Like it's like
some
we think this is it. A lot of the
For
time.
some reason, it feels like when you travel places, it just feels like humbling in a way that it's like you're just experiencing someone else's life or like seeing what other people are going through, and like here it's like obviously it happens here too, but like going places like seeing Skid Row in LA, seeing like homeless people in New York, like seeing the struggles that some people are going through in like these amazing places is like humbling in the sense that it's like I don't know. I find when it's just going new places and seeing how people experience life in different ways is like so important, so that it's not that when you have something that happens to you here, you can sit and think, is this really a big fucking deal right now?
I heard a quote that I love. It was years ago. I was going to school in the States. I got my master's down there, not a big deal. And
What do you mean? It was just more expensive?
what? Yeah, pretty much.
Wait, you guys have degrees? Wait a second.
I paid more money for my
It
master's.
indeed
so that's
was
pretty good.
more expensive. And while I'm pissed off at the school for just think it lacked a lot of things, and the experience as a whole, that year changed a lot in my brain,
For sure.
for better or worse. But one of the things that I walked away from with, I guess, was traveling is the antidote to ignorance, right? And I think that you find so many people that haven't left their hometown, that haven't left their province,
Damn, yeah.
that haven't left their country, that don't have a passport, that think the American way is the only way. Well, how do you know?
Yeah.
Because you haven't left your country. I went to China, so not China, wow.
Have you been
I
to
just
China?
came out. Japan.
Have you been to China?
Different. No, I'd like to go.
Okay.
I went to
Manifest.
Japan and
Speaking
saw
of
their way of life and their way of living. There are so many positives to draw, and they're so respectful. I lost a pair of sunglasses that I just bought there, typical me, and left them at a train station on top of a locker that was easy to grab. Went back an hour later, still there. Their culture, they won't steal. You could leave an iPhone on the table. If it's not yours, they're typically not going to take it. And I say typically because I'm sure there's tourists that
Right.
would.
Yeah.
You know, you go in every store, they greet you. Streets are clean. You see no homeless people. And I'm sure there's downfalls to their society too, like maybe a couple, but less. But that taught me a lot.
It's
just like,
eye-opening.
you think you know. You think, oh, Canada's the best, or like beating your chest and America's number fucking one. No, it's not, right? Like, you haven't left,
Yeah.
buddy. You've been to Mexico to an all-inclusive. You don't know shit. So that
It's
was
just America in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is. Like it's like and like that to say it's like I'm not gonna go to Mexico and like not stay in a resort, but like I would love to go with the right people, the right intentions. It's like I don't know. It's
To
like
experience that culture would be awesome.
yeah, and like I don't know. I haven't with COVID. We haven't. When was the last time you traveled aside from fucking
Buffalo.
Hammertown and
Yeah.
Buffalo was
Hamilton and Buffalo.
That's all I need.
before COVID happened.
Hamilton.
That's it for me.
You poor guys out here. You've
Dude,
been a little
that-
bit more locked up than most because East Coast Canada has been the worst through this whole pandemic, I think.
Well,
just in terms of like the way they've reacted to
Yeah,
it.
they were good in the sense that we didn't have a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But now we're behind the ball in the sense that we're still worried about cases.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I think the last place I went was Europe.
sucks.
Really, 4 years ago.
I've never been. That's why when I sent that snap today, I was like,
Wow.
Really
to go to
cool.
Ireland would just be fucking.
Yeah, man. No, absolutely. Funny thing, the only reason I even responded to that one, I saw something the other day too, is to not share
Yeah.
moments like that
Until it
necessarily before it happens, one, but just even before it's like a thing, and because it sets off like a dopamine spike in your brain because you're excited to share it, and it mimics the same thing as it actually happening, when you should stop doing it.
I'm so bad for it,
You
man.
do it because we
And
had
like-
a
and I actually-
conversation about this too. I get it.
It's like I say that I'm bad for it, but it's like it's we talked about this too,
Yeah,
but
you-
like just
you
feeling
get
like
a
you
bit
need
of
to
a high off it,
yeah, you need to
right?
share a story or share an experience. Like I get
Right. But then when you're there, fucking share away, man. I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care,
No,
right?
I know. Which I
But
if it happens, people are gonna know.
it just reminded me of something that I saw. Is
Boys
just-
are gonna have to get the roaming business plus plan. XXL.
yeah, I'm
data.
gonna be on the
it's
fucking.
actually not bad.
100
It's like
gigabytes.
roam like home.
It's,
and like
this is the Canada's the most expensive spot for
Yeah,
data.
it's crazy, yeah.
really
I'm pretty sure.
Nova Scotia.
You can get SIM cards and stuff in Europe.
I don't know what the breakup is provincially.
I think it's like $9-10 a day. Like if it's anything like it was in the Cayman Islands, $9-10 a day, and then you get the exact same plan as you do back home.
because if you
like
go to the
40
states,
gigs,
go to the
so I'm
states,
fine.
you get a cell phone plan. It's like $15. You get unlimited data and shit like
Not
this.
quite.
Not
It's
quite,
still-
but like for like there's definitely
maybe a pay as you go plan.
yeah, there's just so many more competitors I think that they can offer. There's places you can if you really want to shave some money, you
I
can.
looked into it. I think it was like $60.
Okay,
a
which like
month.
everything's
American,
fucking more
I
expensive
mean,
now. Yeah, it's but
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll worry about that later.
Yes.
yeah, if it happens, it's
Yeah. We'll talk about the cell phone plans when it happens.
yeah. What budget am I allocating for my
Yeah.
selfies in Dublin?
Yeah. Right. Oh man.
Do you have more questions?
Speaking of stouts. Speaking of stouts, having a Guinness there would be bomb.
You guys know why manhole covers are round?
Sorry, what?
Why do you think manhole covers are round?
Manhole?
Manhole covers, yeah.
Manhole covers.
Well, because if it's
What's
left
a manhole
like
cover?
a sewer pipe, like a manhole.
Oh, that's called a
manhole
learned
I'm
something today.
thinking if the edges were square,
There are some square ones, aren't there?
there are some square ones. Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're
they're not
square,
supposed to be.
Okay,
maybe
maybe,
there
maybe
is.
not
Feel like
like maybe not like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Is it
like,
because like if an edge is left up, it's more likely to pop someone's tire because it's like could be a point?
Could be a good. I mean, could be
But
a
did
good
you just
answer.
ask without having
Do
any
people
type of
fit?
answer?
Well, I
even
have an
better?
answer that was given with the question, but I mean
there's no right or wrong
that
answer.
wasn't one of the answers. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. What was the one? Well, what do you think, Tyson?
people fit through them better. I don't know. Maybe
There's more round. There's more round
You
people
fit
than there is square
better in
people.
round holes than square holes.
Yeah, personally. I don't know about
yeah.
you, but
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, it's basically so you don't have to. You don't have to turn the manhole cover to
Yeah.
fit it correctly, and also a round manhole cover won't fall down the manhole. But if you turn a square one a certain way, it'll fall down.
Oh, because if you put it diagonal and flip it
Yeah,
up, it'll
go
fit
down.
diagonally
Yeah.
down.
Thought that was interesting. Just figured I'd break up the pot a little bit here.
No,
Yes.
I'm these questions. I want these
Oh,
Oh, this
questions.
is a good one too.
Yeah.
Who would you choose to play you in a movie about your life?
Like, they
I
have
got
to look
mine.
like you? Is that
No, they just have to be you.
this had to be me?
They just have to be you.
well, I mean, you kind of gotta look like you too. Maybe act like you a little bit.
Well, in the sense that like most documentaries or biopics or whatever kind of look like the person.
Right.
It doesn't always.
I've been
look
told I
like
look like Brandon Dubinsky. I feel
I
like
can see that.
yeah,
Big time.
Honestly, like
Can you put that in the video?
Charlie
With a
sent me
football
that.
player.
Yeah, he's anybody with a big nose and some big ears and a square head. I kind of look like.
You're not shaped like a manhole cover, that's for sure.
No, that's my head wouldn't fit through the top, buddy.
I get Tom Hardy quite a bit. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
I
can pull
can
off
see
my
that.
personality to be
Tommy
honest. with you,
Traps?
but he's a-
Tom Hardy in Peaky Blinders, kind of.
Yeah, he's got a
No, you want Tom Hardy in Warrior? He's just an absolute brick.
mutant.
Yeah.
I swear to God, and I'm not even saying this to brag, but like people come up to me like, "Have you ever got that you look like?" And I'm like Tom Hardy. They're like, "Oh my God!" And I'm, yeah,
I'm so shocked.
it happens.
It
And then when I've
happens.
got the pube beard,
Yeah.
I get the guy.
If
from
That's a
the-
pube beard. What the fuck is
Hashtag-
mine when I grow up?
when I got the pube beard, the guy from Sons of Anarchy. I get
Oh
that
yeah,
a little bit.
Oh, Jax?
Checks it. That
Jax
checks
Taylor?
it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
Just he's got.
I'm
long
rolling on
hair.
this.
I'm not cocky, I swear to God, but I got some good ones. People, bring it up with the people.
We had that conversation too, but like
People helping people.
perception of cockiness is just with social media. I get all the time that it's like I'm really cocky when it's like I really don't think I am because I'm like my self depreciation is like up at the best,
Yeah,
up there with
yeah.
yours.
Brocky said that to me the other day. He's like, "Man, I can't believe I ever hated you." And I was like, it's
Thanks,
just because you didn't know me. Like, and now I just don't fucking care. Whereas once upon a time I did. I'm sure some of the stuff that I say comes across as very like
Big time. Not you, but I'm saying I'm saying
you.
big time in the ingredients of like
Yes.
I'm in the same boat.
So like what I say
But
is
you're
very
also
like
very cocky.
very to the point,
Yeah,
and
it's-
like no bullshit, and I don't fucking care. And I
No.
think some people are like, whoa, this guy's a cocky prick.
It's like a self-awareness thing, which also sounds like you're cocky because it's like you're speaking highly on whatever you're. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
like
to a degree, it's maybe I don't know, maybe we're too
maybe are we cocky?
boisterous.
Are we cocky?
I'm sure it can be taken that way. Like, I can understand how some people think that. I think that, when people actually meet us and get to know us, I think we're a lot alike. We had a
Yeah.
conversation the other night about that, and like, we're gonna be a little bit more disarming when they get to know us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Maybe
I mean,
people
it's-
fucking hate me too. I don't know.
It's also like being a part, again, it's like being sports guys and like whatever.
Yeah.
People have their own feelings about sports guys, but like, we're a little bit maybe louder and we speak in hyperbole and we're like, we can be big personalities sometimes.
Yes.
And that just like people that haven't been in locker rooms, haven't been like had those types of relationships with people, like I can see why you just don't get it. Right?
Well, even people that-
even like we're
people
like
that have-
ribbing each other and like
Yeah.
shitting on each other or like just chirping and stuff. It's like people be like, oh, they're like,
Yeah.
why would
yeah.
you say that? It's like, well,
I know,
you
I'm-
don't really get the context.
I come across
so-
as such a prick in my group chats and like group settings. Group chats especially because I'm so willing to just type my first thoughts and just like it's even if it's just like everything I say is 90% of the time is for the punchline and then I'll like be like,
Yeah.
wasn't that funny? Like,
Yeah.
It's funny.
Sorry, I
because-
used you at the expense of that joke.
Right.
But,
No, I do that too sometimes where I'm clearly joking. I did it the other day with a friend of mine, and I don't know if it was well received, but
It's me with my family, honestly. My family and my roommates, I've noticed especially, is that
big
like
time.
I'll say things with my family. Now it's like they get it, but like
Yeah.
I'll make jokes and they'll be like, "Jesus Christ, Riley, you can't say that." It's like, Dad, I'm fucking joking. What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's obviously I'm joke. It's like and I always use the word obviously. It's like, but it's not always obvious because like
Yes.
my tone and my delivery is not always.
for sure, it's something you kind of get with time too.
That's why I built this platform to speak on, to talk and learn, to see how I speak and
I'm
how
just-
I communicate with humans.
And
so I
you
can
get
improve
pretty
a bit.
comfortable. You get comfortable with your family too. When
Yeah.
I had a conversation about this the other day as well. Like, my mom sometimes takes it the worst because I'm most comfortable with her. So I say exactly how I feel. I get fired up about a debate, and it's not directed at her, but she's just kind of my sounding board. She's my safe place to like let it all
That's-
out, and like maybe it comes across that
Did-
way. And
did,
I
did-
hope it doesn't, or maybe I should communicate that it's not that way, but just if anything, in a weird way, it's like, hey, you're the person
You're my comfort zone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
So I can
I'm the
just
big mama's boy too.
let
and
it
it's
out,
like, yeah.
right? Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm sure you've like thought you should know by Morgan Wallen. Like that song has like hit on the head so much that I like a call my.
listened.
What?
No.
How many times do you think we've listened to that song since it came out?
I need to.
Dude, it's like it's all about him and his mom. He's like,
1
Yeah?
million.
oh, like didn't mean to. He's like, oh by the way, Mama, didn't mean to ramble on you. How's everything back at home? Like it's like.
Okay.
It hit with me because every time I call my mom, it's like, yesterday I was out rollerblading and I like called my mom and she like was busy and she texted me, she's like, were you calling or was it just a time filler? And it's like, that kind of like struck me in a way. I was like, fuck, like I don't want her to think that she's just filling gaps in
Yeah.
my life. So it's like, when I do call her, I'll just ramble and rant about whatever the fuck's going on.
Right.
And then at the end of it, it's like, oh yeah, so like, what'd you do today?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
it's like
Man,
you kind of forget
get
that
it.
it's, yeah. But
I get it.
no, that's
I think about that a lot too.
That's my comfort zone is my mother. Like
Yeah.
that's, and
Yeah, me too.
will fucking admit that till the day I die. That it's like I'm a
yeah.
huge mother's boy, and it's like, I think it's I don't know. We're fortunate that I know you're really close to your family too. You're really close with your mom. I don't, it's
My dad and I a little less for sure. There's a generational gap. They're a little bit more.
yeah. I'm
like,
the same.
He's just
same
older. He's
same as my dad too.
He
It's,
just doesn't get it, and there's stuff. It goes a lot
you guys,
deeper than
you guys
that.
hear
too.
this happen over here?
My
What
dad's
I'm dealing with?
absolutely
My button keeps popping.
chilling. Your zipper's down too.
Fuck!
you weirdo. Pull your zipper up.
I peed. I'm gonna
I pee.
go off scene. Offset.
What kind of shorts are those?
I don't know. I just got them.
You just got them?
My mom got them for me.
Oh, come on,
Shout out Tanya.
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 come on, Tanny.
Oh, Sounded like they
Alright.
ripped.
All
They
right,
may
you
have.
got any more questions?
Tyson, do you have any good questions like that?
Those
that
are
just-
good. Those are good answers. I could see
Thought-provoking?
both of you guys being those guys for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A big mom's
was
boy.
pretty good.
Through and through, man. Forever.
Texas Forever Street.
Great show. Watch it through twice.
It is a good show.
Top to bottom.
It is a good show.
These are bad list of questions. They're very, very controversial.
Oh yeah, we don't want those.
What are your guys' thoughts on the prison system? This isn't one of the questions.
Wait, what?
What's your thoughts on like prison?
Oh, that's a can of worms for sure.
Well-
I feel largely uneducated, but for what I do
On
know,
prison.
it's
It's not. No, it's an opinion. When you like, if you do something really, really, really bad, do you think you should be locked in a room in a cell for the rest of your life, or in some states killed?
I just don't even know if that's the main argument about prison, but I think.
Well, that's no. I'm not saying that. That's my question.
Yeah,
That's the approach to the
for-
question I'm asking,
yeah,
because it's
for
like there's obviously like the.
like murder and that sort of shit. Anything not like. It's kind of messed up, but anything like not, because this is the problem in the States, is anything not like drug related, anything violent, 100%. But obviously the problem in the States is that it's like the prison system is monetized, and it profits off of putting people in prison that probably like shouldn't be there. Mostly minorities.
Yeah.
So the
It's-
whole
it's
system
like
as a whole,
it's legal slavery.
very,
in some.
very messed up. I mean, if you're in there for violent crimes that you committed, like I have no problem with that whatsoever.
So say someone
Should be to
creates.
rehabilitate.
So you say someone does something out of passion or out of like anger. Say like I don't know. Say that I fucking like assault you to the point that I break both your legs and you can't walk again. Do you feel that I should be locked up for the rest of my life? Do you think that's going to solve the issue?
No, I don't think you would be locked up for the rest of your life.
I don't. I also don't want to say I'm going to kill Kyle.
if I die,
I'm going for that other 50%.
You all saw
It can't be
this.
any paper trail that
you
I'm.
all
You know.
saw this.
gotta
Yeah, I mean, it's just too.
You gotta pee.
I
Yeah.
held it as long as I could.
Yeah,
That's
you do it.
too. That's. Yeah, it's
We'll-
too
we'll
deep
circle
of a
back to it, too.
conversation. That's like a whole podcast by itself. I don't know enough about it.
Neither do I. It's not, and neither do I. Bobby just actually said you can use any of my questions. You want to know some of Bobby's questions here?
Oh God.
All right, Bobby's are the ones that are fucked. Okay,
Yeah, he's got something going on upstairs.
and I'm only gonna pick the ones that aren't completely outrageous. Actually, no. First, we're gonna start with Matt Burton. Matt Burton asked some very good questions, and they're originally for you, but it's also for you as well.
Okay.
Do you enjoy video now more than photo, given that our company has taken a more video-based avenue? So that's directed. Yeah, you've obviously your video. Have you always been video?
Yeah.
How did you start out?
I like photography too, but just videos. Dude, I remember trying to put together like pump up reels for my single A hockey team when I was 11 years old.
Yeah.
On like Movie Maker on the computer. Like I've always
It's always
had
just been the camera.
and it's
guy.
always been music that has like fueled these projects. Like I hear a song that I want to kind of produce to, and like I remember that as a kid. So even like going way back in the day, like I'd be like, "Mom, hold the camera." She's probably like 7, 8 years old. I'd never even seen a 007 movie in my life. She's on the beach at the cottage, holding the camera. We're on the raft, shooting each other, falling off the raft, making a movie.
Making a
right?
movie,
Like,
yeah.
I've always just had
That's
a
creative,
passion
yeah.
for it. So it's always been video for me personally.
That's funny.
What about you? Do you get the same fulfillment out of video that you did out of photo?
Oh man, I don't know. They're so different to me. They're the same, but they're different.
Literally all I have to-
Same.
It's
but
my
different.
all I have to do is just pull that up, and it's just like
That's fucking mint.
yeah. I
You
mean,
should have
it's
heard-
Definitely one of the best photos of all time.
the fire up. Yeah. It was
But
Dude, mine would be like, it'd be like all awkward.
and it's a good. The fact that the ball.
It's a nice swing.
The,
And the ball. Yeah.
yeah, the ball's there. The swing.
What? Tell me your
wherever-
settings on that.
what were the settings?
But on your edit, you got to put the picture up on the screen so people know what we're talking about.
I'll put the.
Like,
Like
what's
what-
your
It's
what's
gonna be right
your
here. We got a white area now to put
Like
stuff
my
on.
camera.
what's your shutter speed?
That would have been 1 / probably 2500, lowest ISO possible, so like 100.
Wow, 1/2500.
Good photo, yeah,
Holy shit.
for sure. I
That's-
mean, it was pretty bright out. We had an ND filter on too, but yeah, I usually crank it up, especially for golf stuff.
That's a
it'll go.
crisp like tint to it too.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I'll wait for Ella to get back, but
Ooh.
yeah, definitely.
2,500.
In terms of like the action, capturing the action, and you can see on the ground, all the grass is like exploding off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The stacks in Dartmouth, which are
Right.
like iconic. It's Brightwood, so that's a golf course in Dartmouth. Like the whole thing is just. That's a really, really good photo.
Yeah.
The
it's
swing
really
could use
good.
some work, but
For anyone that's still like listening and not watching too, we're doing. This episode was just kind of like a random one. We kind of wanted. We got a new
this
set
also
here.
isn't
Oh,
full.
thanks.
No, unless
It's
let me
not
let me
full
finish
red,
explaining.
I'm just
Tyson.
joking.
We got a new
It's
set
not
here,
loaded.
and we spent
What?
the whole first season.
It's not loaded.
Oh, so it's not like as
so
crisp.
it's not as sharp as it should be.
Right.
I'm not loaded, so I'm not as sharp as I should
not
be. Is what you're
loaded.
telling me?
No.
But yeah, as I was saying, it's like for those that are just listening right now, this episode was really just kind of like we just moved into a new space here, as Kyle mentioned at the start. We're on the 7th floor now of the Dillon above Harvest downtown, and we really kind of just wanted to figure out what this setup's going to look like. So obviously, the main point of our podcast is that we can show up and
Have a casting coach.
have a casting coach in our office, and that's not the direction I was going at all. But the main point of not the main point, but one of the big pushes of our podcast is that we want to be able to just bring our equipment, show up at your space, and show it off, and sit and have a good conversation in it. We're fortunate that this is our new home base, so we were just trying to really dial in what that's going to look like. Originally, this coach was over there, this casting coach was over there, but now it's over here, and it's just a better look. I think we're still trying to figure it out, but this was kind of like originally started with me just texting Kyle last night and saying, hey, let's do a podcast where we ask each other a bunch of random ass questions and get some content for Reels and TikTok. Then was talking to Tyson and said, yo, why don't you just come on the podcast? And it turned into this. So
That was a good one, man.
this was a great episode.
Our first one was good, but like this was.
Yeah, and like
some good
it's the
shit.
thing is that they keep getting better, and it's a little more comfortable.
Yeah, of course.
You kind of forget the cameras are there at times, and I'm not even. This wasn't supposed to be like a wrap up by any means. I don't know what we're at for time, but
We're at a lot of time.
yeah,
Some work to do.
yeah.
I'm actually, you know what I haven't had in a while is a Harvest Spicy Club.
Spicy chicken club. All right, we might as well go down and get some spicy chicken clubs.
RDA one. Rip.
Yeah.
Okay, well I haven't, so we'll go down there. I mean, it might be the lunch rush, but we'll go down there. We'll
I
be
just
good.
need to get rid of this
Check it
buzz. Until next time.
Yeah, I guess it's turned into a wrap. But thanks again for
Spicy Chicken Club wrap.
Whoa.
nice.
Fucking.
So now that's our new feature is the wrap.
How
Right?
did
Yeah.
not end on that?
Yeah.
Thanks again to our sponsor, Breton Brewing. Always keeping us stocked up with some of the best beer in Nova Scotia and maybe the whole planet.
They certainly help with
So,
the flow of the conversation.
Yeah,
that's
we
for
love
sure.
you guys.
The flow.
Thank you so much. Your beers are delicious, and we'll see you in the next one.
And actually, sorry, before we do that, Tyson,
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
before we wrap, what are you up to? What are you excited about? What are you plugging in here?
Okay, I'm really excited about my new website that I've just launched. We talked about it for a while. It's Geick's Toes. So visit the site and get 20% off my feet pictures.
No, but for real.
I ripped a toenail off yesterday, to be honest, and
Things
it's
are looking
treacherous.
good now.
it was like The Walking Dead.
Talk about need to know.
Need to know. What do we need to know? We need to know a lot, I think.
What's your song called, sorry?
Right. Don't need it.
Don't need it.
Need to know. Yeah, Don't Need It is out now. It's doing okay. We need some new listens. So yeah, the music thing's cool. We got a new song coming out too called Place to Poison. Fired up about that one. It's my favorite of the three that we recorded. And I'm going to be needing some help with the promotional stuff on that.
We had some guys, yeah.
So yeah, keep a lookout for that. And then Thunderbirds content all summer long and all year long. And Tyson Geick content with McDonald's pictures and Budweiser content.
McDonald's and Budweiser, two
Yes.
two good ones.
What a combo.
They nailed your brand, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again for listening. Tyson's song, "Don't Need It," is going to be the one that's started at the start of this podcast and at the end too.
Genius.
So go give that a listen on Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube.
Should we do that or should we do the new one?
Do you have the new one already?
Hell yeah.
Okay, it's not that song. It's actually the new song that's not out yet. So,
Cool.
yeah,
Just
thanks.
give a little tease of it.
Thanks again for joining
That's
us.
fun.
I mean, we've repeated. We have season 2, and we have 2 repeat guests. Sorry,
Customers.
customers, 2 repeat guests.
Yeah,
so,
I paid $200 to be on this episode.
but yeah, no, thanks again for listening, and to the moon.
To the moon.
Place of poison.
When all
Geick's
bets are on. Is it a bar or a pub or a dirty little strip club, boat or a beach or a dive off Main Street? Everybody's got a spot to get loose, so drinks up, half cut. Hey bartender, can we get a little love? Yeah, it's Friday night, we push that clock. We're living on our time, yeah. Another round downtown, top shelf key in a cocktail lounge. Grab the boys and make some noise. It's dealer's choice, so pick your place of poison.